you care to clarify your stance on coal today, and along with that, where do you stand on a renewable portfolio standard, hopefully hovering around 20%?
I'm fully committed to a 20% renewable standard. I've already committed to that. That if it's not on my website, then my bad. Because that's something that we've talked about. You're right. I support the most aggressive cap and trade system that we've got in the Senate right now. I've had the most aggressive approach in terms of where we can actually get something done on fuel efficiency standards. I've got a national low carbon fuel standard, a proposal that I've introduced that says that 10%, not only do we want cars that are more efficient, but 10% of the fuel blend in the fuels that are going in those cars needs to be low carbon. But, I heard you, coal's evil, I'm quoting you, but I actually think that coal is not going to go away overnight. We have too many power plants in this country that are coal reliant. Coal is our most abundant and cheapest energy resource, although also our most polluted. And so my strategy has been that within the context of a cap and trade system that's aggressive with the goal of getting to 80% reductions by 2050, that we're going to have some transition, and that's going to require coal sequestration. It's going to require investments in the kind of clean coal technology that isn't all the way there yet, but we're going to have to get there. Now, part of the reason I make that argument is not simply, some people have said it's because I come from a coal state. It's true that downstate Illinois, the people still are mining coal. And there are a lot of economies all throughout the Midwest of this country that are still reliant to some degree on coal, and I do care about those workers. And I do care about making sure that they've got a transition. I also care about the costs of electricity. That's going to matter to seniors on fixed incomes. But the other reason is because if we're going to be serious about climate change, we've got to do something with the Chinese. We've got to do something with India. And we are wealthier than they are still, and have the capacity to invest in research and development. And we've got the vibrancy of our market, and if we've got a strong cap and trade system that is raising the price, so it's saying to a power plant, if you're going to burn coal, you're going to be paid through the nose, so it's probably more efficient for you to institute the kind of technologies that sequester the carbon, we can start importing that technology to China and India. They will be less likely to do that if we can make it cheaper for them to do it. Then that's going to probably do more in terms of us solving the overall problem of global warming.
Anybody? Every scientist all across the world, except for maybe a couple in the White House, have determined that the climate is changing, weather patterns are changing, and that over the long term it will have a significant damaging effect on the world economy and on the U.S. economy. It's going to cost us trillions of dollars. Think about it. I mean, if you start seeing ocean levels rise, we may not live near an ocean, but that has an impact on the economy in California and in Florida and in New York. If you're seeing more Katrinas, that has an impact on taxpayers having to do something about it. If you're starting to see weather patterns change, that may help farmers in some places and hurt others, and there's going to be dislocations. It's not a good thing. Now, there is a way of dealing with the issue by setting up what's called a cap and trade system. And it's not that complicated. It basically says, we're going to put a price on the carbon dioxide that you send into the atmosphere. Everybody is going to have to pay for the damage that's being done to the atmosphere. Doesn't matter where it's coming from, whether it's from a power plant, whether it's from some other industry that is using a lot of energy. And once you put a price on it, then you can set up a system where you create a market for it. Once you create a market, then investors start coming in. They realize we can make money on green technology. And you can also bid off the rights to some of these emissions. So what can happen then is you can create jobs and new industries in green technology, investors are going to come in and say, this makes a lot of sense for us economically. You can actually, the government can get money from the auctioning off of some of these emission rights and use it to finance investment in alternative fuels. And it can be a win-win-win situation all across the board.